Hey everyone, this is Corine Lafont, your favorite radio host, your only radio host, and favorite girl, of course. Broadcasting to you from the lovely island of Trinidad and Tobago in the Caribbean on Between the Lines. And you know how we do it here on Between the Lines? I always start my show off with gratitude or thankfulness. It's a beautiful day today. It's green, it's luscious. I am thankful to be above ground, to be able to witness and experience all of that. I am just elated to be alive, breathing in good health, and to be able to do my show another day and to meet experts, people in their fields, to be able to bring and inspire knowledge, empowerment to you. As I always say, if I can change one life or impact one life, that's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for the thousands or the masses, just one, because that one will help another. I have with me today Rosalind Sedacca. And let me tell you a bit about her. But before that, what are we talking about? This may be a topic for you. So we're speaking about parenting children of divorce. She's a specialist in that area, parenting children of divorce. And what just flew into my mind a while ago is I wonder if she was a child of divorced parents as well. We don't know, but we'll find out a bit about that in a bit. So Rosalind Sedacca, CDC, as you will see initials on the side of her name, she's going to tell us a bit about that, is the founder of the Child-Centered Divorce Network, a divorce and co-parenting coach and author of numerous books, e-courses and programs on divorcing with children and co-parenting successfully. She's also the co-host of the Divorce, Dating and Empowered Living radio show and podcast. I would suggest you check out her podcast. Anyone who fits that profile, divorce, dating, I need to check it, I'm dating. And I'm empowered. I need some more empowerment. To access Rosalind's valuable resources, we're going to be checking out her website a little bit later, but we want to get straight into the show. So welcome, Rosalind, to Between the Lines.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you today.
It's great to have you. Parenting children of divorce. So like I mentioned at the beginning, are you a child of divorced parents?
I am a child of parents who should have divorced and didn't. And the scars that I had growing up were just as severe as people who are children of divorce when it was done wrong. So I learned from that. And then I am the mother of a child because I got a divorce. And so I went through all the experiences that I'm going to be talking about to help protect children of divorce.
Oh my word. I am a parent, okay? I am a parent, separated, and I'm considering the separation and divorce, not married, but separated, and the kids got sacrificed in the middle of all of that.
Yes.
I will tell you the ages. One is now 17, going to be 18 at the end of this month. One is going to be 26 in September. But when the split happened was about 5 years ago. I can't do the maths on that here right now, but you're looking at, they're still pretty young. Yeah, impressionable. It impacted them. It impacted me and how I felt as a mother, you know, having a unit at one point, being the gel in the family, keeping everything together, running to the PTA, the sports, the outings, you know, talking to the parent teachers conferences, all the different things. I'm the one, you know. The school sees me, the church sees me, the children sees me. They wake up in the morning, it's mom. They go to bed at night, it's mom. They're sick, it's mom. You know, any problem that comes up that mom has to put on her cape and S on her shirt, it's mom. You know, it's mom. You know, so when I had to separate from the relationship, you know, at that point, you're thinking, I thought about the kids, because I mean, I could have done it earlier. And I'm sure other persons listening to this or will be listening to this, they could say the same thing. They could have made the move for the separation earlier, but they held on for a little longer. And that's what I did. You know, I held on, and we always say for the sake of the children. I think to me, it's not a good thing to stay for the sake of the children, because you're damaging them more. They're not stupid. They're not just little people walking around without a sense of what's happening and a feeling of what's happening. So I want you, now that I've given you that context, I mean, I don't know how much more damaging it is with divorce or the trauma, but help me as well. While you're talking, I want to be able to resonate and to learn from you, because I too, I don't know if I may get involved with someone who may be a parent, divorced parent, and a child may come to that. I don't know what to expect, how to, help me here. Give me some context.
Will do. Well, Corine, you're not alone in what you've experienced and what you are experiencing. I am hearing a reverberation now.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rosalind. I'm hearing you. I'm hearing
Okay.
you. You
Okay, so
keep going.
It's very important that first you acknowledge yourself, because you are a loving, caring mother, and that's the most important thing. You're thinking about your children, and what you said is correct, that children pick up whether we're talking to them about it or not. They pick up, and it doesn't matter whether you're legally divorced or whether you're separated in a relationship. The important thing is how the kids are impacted by that breakup. And so we have to understand a few things that are very significant. And the first is that conflict, parental conflict, does the most damage to children, whether you're married or not married, whether the relationship is holding up or whether it's breaking up. Children exposed to the parental conflict are impacted emotionally and psychologically. So if there's fighting, if there's disagreements, it has to be kept away from the ears and this vision of your children, even if it's behind a door that's closed in the other room. If they can hear you, then you're doing damage to them, because they're very sensitive, and it hurts them, because children want to fix problems when they see problems in the home. And of course, they're helpless to do that. So you have to keep your battles away from your children. Another very important rule is to never badmouth your ex or soon to be ex, or the other parent of your children. As tempting as it may be, as justified as you may feel about it, it harms and scars children, because they are part of both of you, and they feel very torn and confused and angry and anxious and upset when they hear either parent putting down the other parent, speaking disrespectfully about the other parent, whether they're there or not there. And it's very harmful on a long-term level to do that. So parents have to be very mindful about keeping their battles away from the children, and watching how they address the other parent and speak about the other parent to their children. You also never want to provide adult information to children, even the older teens, about what's happening in the divorce, because children's brains don't really develop till over age 25. They're not capable of fully comprehending the complexities of relationships. As you know, adults certainly have enough trouble dealing with them. And so children are going to try to fix things and make it better, and they can't. They're helpless to do that. So it's suggested by most every professional that you don't share adult information with your children. You don't say, if only your dad didn't have an affair, if your mom wasn't an alcoholic, none of this would be happening. It's not information for your children. You want to speak to your children in ways so that they feel that they're being supported and loved by both parents. And it's very important to share that message, that even though this relationship is breaking up, your parents are both loving you, will always love you, and will always be your parents. That's the kind of information that children of all ages need to hear and understand. And then what I do as a coach is try to support both parents in living up to that and making mature, responsible decisions so that their children are really protected before, during, and long after the divorce.
Wow. I heard you with what you shared. They are really, really serious things. And one of the things I want to put forward an argument on is when you said don't share the battles, don't something with the battles with the children. Don't let them in on what's going on. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, we as parents are there to protect our children. Yes, we are there to protect our children. But I believe, I mean, being an adult now, going through certain experiences, that I want my children to know what's going on in the home. I think we should be sitting down, whether we are getting divorced or not. I'm just saying, let them be aware. It's part of their development, part of them understanding what being an adult, because they will be, God willing, an adult. Um, Understanding responsibility in the home. So even sitting down and talking finances, when children want certain things in, you know, personally, desires, wants, you know, and you can't give it to them at a particular point in time, they need to understand why. Maybe later they could get that, but not necessarily know, or what they may need to do to achieve it if that's what they want to do. Put forward something, you know. So if two parents are not coexisting in the house well or getting along, the children, not that they should be pulled into it, but they will ask questions. They may ask questions, and you know that they're asking questions. Even if they're afraid to come to you, you should be able, as your adult, say, listen, we, you know, daddy, you and I can't agree, or mommy, you and I can't agree. But let's bear in mind, like you said for your website, child-centered. It's about making the environment proper for them. Let's have us sit down and let them know this is what's happening with us. Mommy and daddy may not be able to agree on certain things, and you may hear us shouting, or you may hear us whatever. These things happen in families. We are going to try to keep it at a certain pace or level, or manage it, and we want to know how you feel about that. You know, or if you have suggestions, ask the kids. They're creative. If they have suggestions on what we could do to communicate better, because they have friends at school, they have other people who they interact with, and they may find creative ways to manage their own challenges in their own little lives. But they're not stupid, and they may give us some great ideas. So I'm saying, I don't want to hide from my kids, because you see, we set the example for what they are going out there to build in their own lives. The daughter is looking for the man that reminds her of her father. That's the only example she has to go with. The son is going to be looking for that person that reminds him of his mother, because he will always be comparing. He has no other reference, you know. So we have to create that environment. Tell me, I don't know, am I on the right track? Am I doing the right thing? What?
Well, what you're saying is absolutely right on and well said. So yes, you want to speak to your children very candidly and clearly in age-appropriate language. So yes, all of that is true. What the experts are in agreement about is we don't share with our children adult information beyond the things that they could fix. Mm-hmm. So if there's something that you're telling them that's going to make a difference that they can do to help the relationship, then you can talk about that. But when you're talking about an affair, when you're talking about serious addiction or other complex adult issues, they can fix it. And what happens when you share that with them, it robs them of their childhood. They become instant adults, and suddenly they can never get back the innocence of being a child again. My own mother did that to me, and she didn't intentionally do it to harm me, but she would confide all the things about my father. My father did this, he said that, his parents did this and that, his relatives. She used me as her confidant. And so at 10, 11, 12 years old, I became a little adult. I became my mom's therapist. Mm-hmm. And yes, I was very precocious and could understand it, but I was no longer thinking like a 10-year-old. I was suddenly thinking like a little adult. How could I make this better? How could I fix my parents' marriage? Well, your children can't. Even if they're fighting about the kids can't fix it. It's not the child's responsibility. And so that's the challenge we have. We want to talk to them honestly, and we want to talk to them and get their feedback and have conversations with them. So everything you said is right. But when we bring up adult issues that they can't really play a part in unraveling, it gets complicated because they feel guilty if they're forced to play one parent against the other. If they have secrets or information about one parent and they still love that other parent, which children naturally do, is it fair to them to suddenly know something about mom or dad that really is going to impact their relationship with them as a child? Because if that parent has been a good parent, that's all that matters for the children. The rest of it, you need to go and seek out legal help, therapeutic mental health help, a friend, but you don't want to be using your child as your confidant because it emotionally scars them. And that's what we're trying to do, is protect them, protect their innocence. Kids have a complicated life. They've got friends, they've got bullying, they've got responsibilities, they got all the issues that come with growing up in our cultures, which are so complicated. To force them into thinking like a little adult about issues that they cannot change, because if they could, we would have come up with the answers before that. It just isn't fair to them, and it's a burden. So that's the fine line.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. And I'm shaking my head. It probably nearly bopped off of my shoulders. But yes, because you really lost your innocence. And we all make the mistake. And we do it innocently. We need somebody to voice it too. And we have to be very careful. We have to be careful. And you have to understand the repercussions. I am very well aware of that. I remember making that mistake, starting it and realizing the impact. And you don't do it with a malicious intent, you know. Of
course not.
You talk about it, and then you realize, like in mid-sentence, oh my God, you know, or the child may even stop you and say, Mom, I don't need to know that. I want to stay out of that. You know, they may even voice it to you. And then you have to be aware, oh my God, this is my child, you know, I shouldn't be burdening them with that. In divorces, what tends to happen is a lot of fighting between the parents on who should have the children. And again, it's coming back to not being child-centered. And it's like pulling the child apart, you know, like you could rip them apart. And it's like, just like you said a while ago, the child loves both parents. Why are you doing this? How do we navigate that? How do we navigate that situation as divorced parents? How do we come back, Rosalind, and realize, you know what phases me? Two people decide, they claim that they're in love, Rosalind. They claim that they're in love. They end up having children as a result of that union, assumedly because of love. And all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, the snap of a finger, the hate, disgust, the condescension, the war of the roses is happening. I really, and suddenly you forget there are children involved, and it's not about you, and you have to separate the issues. And I'm saying, what is going on here? Have you forgotten what is going on? How do we get back? What do you say to parents, especially? So it's not only a matter of the children, because I think if the parents are solid, the children will be solid. You get your SHIT together, and then everything else will fall into place. Help us, help us, Rosalind.
Well, it's you're asking great questions, and what you said is right on target. So you totally understand the challenge that we all have. One of the things that is wise to do is answer some really important questions that I use with my clients to keep them on track. And one of the first important questions is to ask yourself, do I love my children more than I may dislike or even hate my ex? And if you answer yes to that, and if both parents answer yes to that, then you're going to be making decisions that I call child-centered. You're going to be focused on what's most important, is not scarring and wounding and damaging the children that you say you love. So that gives you a focus to talk together, to bring in a professional who can talk with you dispassionately and objectively and help you make decisions moving forward, whether you're getting a divorce or not, whether you're separating, whether you're going to make some shifts in the marriage, whatever that is. You can do that when you both accept your parental responsibilities and are willing to talk about the relationship. Another important question is to ask yourself, how are my children going to respond to the way we handled this breakup or this divorce when the children are grown adults? You know, it's funny, but it's hard when you have a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or a 15-year-old to think that they're going to be an adult one day. But surprise, they do grow up and they hold you responsible for every decision you made in life. And my son came to me when he was a grown adult out of the blue, and he said, you know, Ma, you and Daddy did a really good job with your divorce, and I just want to thank you, because most of my friends whose parents divorced either hate their parents or are very angry at them. And I think you guys were great. And that's the moment that I let go of so much guilt that I was holding on to. I just let out a sigh of relief, because you just never know what damage you're doing to your children. And that was the catalyst for my starting the Child-Centered Divorce Network and becoming a certified divorce coach and specializing in co-parenting, because to me, that's the most important part of it all, is the legacy you're leaving for your kids. So if you ask yourself, how are the kids going to react to this, to the way we handle this divorce and all the decisions we made? Very often that'll sober parents up. It'll keep them from really holding up their fists and getting ready to punch each other and say, wait a minute, my kids are watching. What should I be showing them? Because we're role models for our children. Every step of the way, every day of our lives, we're role models. They learn from how we approach things. And divorce and marital conflict is some of the most difficult challenges anyone is going to face. And our kids are learning from us. How do we handle disagreements with someone else in our life? What decisions and choices do we make? We have choices, and we want to take the high road as much as possible, because that's going to leave a more positive legacy for our children and give them a brighter future when they're facing relationship decisions.
Oh my word. Oh my word. You know, I like when you mentioned that when your son actually released you, and let me put it like that, he actually released you, and you were carrying guilt, even though he's like, Mom, you did a great job, and you didn't know back then that he was thinking yes, you know. But you're carrying guilt, and that's the thing with parents, you know, you still carry the guilt, thinking, I wonder if they're thinking that, I wonder if they, you know, how are they perceiving me? And you know, I could have done that better. Did I do that wrong? I should have. No, you know, you're always second guessing yourself and questioning yourself. And I like when you said that was the birth of your business, you know, getting involved in the child-centered, you know, divorce, and pursuing that because you realize that, hey, I did something right. I can teach this. I can help others who are going through it, which is awesome. Hey, you got the best referral ever, Rosalind. You got the best testimonial ever from your own son. From your own son.
And my son,
I see we're coming down to the end, and I wonder. Yes, go ahead.
He ultimately wrote the foreword to my book, How Do I Tell the Kids About the Divorce? So I was honored to have him do that.
Oh, you can't get better than that, Rosalind. You can't get it better than that. Your own son. Oh my goodness. Yes. It's great when your kids can look back, and you talk about legacy, when your kids can look at you and say, you did the best that you could. You did well. I thank you. That there's no price you can put on that. Your heart swells, your soul wants to burst. It's just like, God, I thank you. You know, it's like I did something. I did something, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, I did something. Let me grab your website here. Let me see if I can pull it out. Yeah. There we go. Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Nice.
Child-centered divorce.
And they're so cute. Yeah, and I think you have a giveaway here, don't you? How can they get? Let's look at what that giveaway is.
Book. Right. Anyone who visits childcentereddivorce.com, right on the homepage, is a free ebook on post-divorce parenting, success strategies for getting it right. And the instant download, just enter your email address.
Okay, where do I do that? Do I do it here?
Right there where it
right
says
here.
name and email. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, right there.
Yeah, you just put in your name and your email and you get, yeah.
Yes,
Nice. All right, packed with valuable advice, tips, resources, and more. This would be fabulous. Post-divorce parenting, success strategies for getting it right. This is awesome. And you're not alone. So what other resources can parents or even, even persons who are deciding to get married?
Right.
These are things I think they should be discussing in counseling sessions, Rosalind. I mean, you don't plan on getting divorced, but you should prepare. I think you should be prepared for all the things that could come at you as much as you could think of. Yeah.
Right.
What are some other resources that we can access?
I have several coaching programs. I do personal one-on-one coaching via video or phone, and I have several co-parenting coaching programs and ebooks, Parenting Beyond Divorce. Ebooks, they all focus on strategies to do co-parenting in the most successful way, and see lots of courses and programs. So I have a lot of digital things for people to, it's very economical. You don't have to have one-on-one coaching sessions. You can still get the work, the answers and the support you need.
Nice. And I see you have a bunch of articles here.
Tons of articles and blog posts.
That persons can take their time.
Yes.
That's right. And of course, they could click this link to get coaching from you and enter their information. So, I mean, this is just a wealth of information. So are you working alone in this, or do you have support in what you're doing?
Well, I have experts all over the world who are in my divorce directory. So if people want to find an attorney or a mediator or a coach in a certain area, I have a directory on there as well. But I do the work internationally myself. So I work with people in countries around the world. And, thanks to technology, we can do this easy enough by video or phone.
Like what we're doing here right now. So
Exactly.
It's very easy. Yeah, very easy. And so there are no barriers or bridges or walls. There's no excuse. Okay.
Exactly.
So if you're going through any sort of crap concerning your divorce, this is the person to reach. Rosalind. She's
or
an
long
expert.
after
Her
divorce.
son said so. And long after divorce. Her son said so. All right, let me see if I can get back to this website here now. So, I mean, the first thing I would tell people to do is just put in your name and email address. I mean, get this ebook, as a start.
Yes.
And probably even start writing down all the concerns individually, mother versus father, and then as a parent or even as a family, what are the concerns, and have those questions ready for you for the coaching sessions. Yeah?
Absolutely, yes.
Awesome, awesome.
You feel supported, and that's very important when you're going through something dramatic. You want to know you have support, someone who's there, who understands, who's been there, and understands what you're going through.
Yeah, that's important, because with any sort of trauma or challenge we're going through, we need the support. We need the support, and you're an expert in this area. I wish if you were an expert in a lot of other areas, Rosalind, but that's okay. We will just have to take you for this. So, thank you so much, Rosalind, for being on Between the Lines. I mean, this has been a pleasure. I learned so much. I learned about myself, and going forward, to be a better person, to look inward, do that introspective examination, and just consider other people in the whole mix of things. Thank you so much for being on Between the Lines.
Thank you for